I totally forgot about this aspect. Probably because, and here's where like I'm coming from with this. So for me personally, and this is probably why I forgot, like I totally like this is actually is like a huge piece and like why women are so like I don't know. To me, it's weird like about dating. Like I think that they are too much with it because, as I said in previous video, men don't prioritize dating and they don't even prioritize women really. They prioritize other men over women. So it's like it doesn't make sense to me why like you would try so hard to get like and I get like wanting relationships. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it doesn't make sense to me why. Like it seems like you're just hurting yourself. You know, cuz like I remember when I was like in grade school and stuff like that and I was a whale when I was in grade school. Like I was huge and I was very awkward. Like I have autism and I didn't know how to socialize nearly as well back then. Plus I was fat. So so whenever I thought a guy was cute, in my head I would just be like, "Don't even go there. You're gonna get hurt." Like you're just gonna hurt your own feelings because these guys, like none of these guys are checking for you, and like so that's what I did. I never got hurt. So like that's like kind of the same mentality that I bring into like even though I'm not like that anymore. I just think like for women as a whole, like that's the same type of mentality I bring into it is like analyze the group of people that you want to get with and then from there decide how much emotional stock you want to put into it. Because most of these men aren't emotionally available, most of them are misogynist, like to be honest. And like I'm not like mad at them for that, but that's just how they are. Like they put their bros, like women don't get this because they put, as I said in the last video, like women will throw their friends under the bus to impress men, but men will throw women under the bus to impress their friends. Like so there's a lot going on with that. And I just don't think it's wise, even if you want kids, to prioritize dating and take it that seriously. Like I even with the whole biological clock thing and men too, by the way, even though men can have kids at a very old age, like the quality of like their sperm or whatever goes down as they age. So even for them, even though they don't have like the clock ticking, it still is wiser for them to have kids when they're a bit younger. But yeah, it doesn't because like you can't. That's why it's like even if you want the kids, like you can't, like in my mind it's like you still can't. You have to like I think it's really important. I think in society intentionally they don't want us to center God. And when you have a relationship with God and with the relationship with God comes with what God wants you to do and a vocation that God has for you. And like so you kind of like let go a little bit. You're like, okay, if I'm supposed to like be a mom or whatever, it'll happen for me because that like God will make it happen. Even if finding a good man is like a needle in a haystack, God will make sure that I find that needle if that's what he wants me to do, or that the needle finds me because like, I don't believe in pursuing men. So that's how you get a DL man. So yeah. But for me personally, I think I don't part of the reason I didn't even think of the kids aspect is for me, like I'm not against having kids, but I'm not like I don't need to have kids either. Like I have other things that I want to do. And a lot of that is like seeing like I'm not into like the whole career woman thing. Like those women tend to be narcissists, like the whole like girl boss thing. But I have other things that I like to do, and I don't like I'm not closed off to having kids. I like for me having kids is like very much about the guy. Like I would want like if I feel like for me personally, if I met like someone I really really liked, I would naturally be inspired to have kids. If that's what he wanted. Like because here's the thing. I'm not doing the single parent thing. And by single parent, I mean like you're with the guy and even if you're with the guy, even if you're together with like the father of your children, you're basically doing everything yourself. I'm not doing like I can tell, like I can sniff out which guys like I would basically be a single parent with. And I think that women are so like about having kids because they don't have God and stuff in their lives that they don't snip that out and they'll just like have kids with anyone. And that's why they're so like, and then they get like all into it, and it's like these guys, as I said, these guys like don't even view you as like, these guys even view you as like inferior to their like male friends, you know? So it's like even if you want kids, you have to like let that go. I think that it's really important that like for women, I think it's really important for women that even if you want kids, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to like let it go to a degree, because you're just going to end up getting like really, really messed up, you know? Like, because here's the other thing that I kept forgetting, because I kept forgetting to say this. Like, when guys figure out that you want something, they will hold it over your head. And that's where because guys are very, very aware that women want kids, and that women only have a certain amount of time to have these kids that they really want. And that's why they feel like they're the prize, because they feel like the gatekeepers to that. You know, especially in society now where it's like less and less about families and stuff like that. Like, I feel like a lot of guys feel like they're better than women because they can sense how badly women want these relationships, that they're very detached because of the programming that I mentioned with the media and like Disney princesses, romance, all this crap has been so like pushed on women, and that women are very, very focused on like relationships and having families, like they want kids, they want like the romance, they want all of that. And guys weren't brought up like, guys weren't programmed like that, but guys do know that about women, and that's why they feel like they're the prize, because they can sense how badly women want it, and they're more detached from that, so that makes them feel like the prize. I think that hugely plays into why men feel like the prize nowadays, because they can really, really sense like these women like want these relationships and this romance so badly, and they're more like take it or leave it, as long as they have their guy friends and they have the approval of the men around them. And I've noticed from my interactions with men, I didn't go into like dating, like I didn't really take dating seriously, as I said. Like, I've had like dating type instances, and my thing that I wanted from these guys wasn't kids and like trying to put, but it was like other things. And that's always the first thing they ask you, by the way, is like, what do you want out of this? For leverage. And I learned not to disclose that, because if you want something out of this relationship, whether it's kids or something else, they will hold that over your head. They will withhold it until you give them what they want, which typically is not a relationship. It's typically other things, if you get my gist. So, you know, like, men will like figure out what you want out of the interaction, and they will hold it over your head, and they would like until they get what they want, and then they'll ditch. typically that's like how they are. So, you know, like or that's what they plan to do, is they plan to ditch. And I caught on very quickly, if a guy's like, hey, like, what do you want out of this relationship, and I tell him, he's going to withhold that. Now he's going to withhold that. And I wasn't asking for kids in marriage, but I know that this applies to kids in marriage. You know what I mean? Like, a guy, like, you go into the relationship and you say, I really want a family, I want kids, da da da. He's going to hold that over your head. He's going to withhold that. You know, like, guys are like that. And and he's going to make you jump through hoops for him in one way or another, and to give him what he wants. And now he feels like he's holding like the power. And that's how they use that. That's why it's like that's why I feel like I don't know if I described it right, but that's why it's so important, like, not to be, even if you want kids, and even with the biological clock thing, not to be so desperate for it, and not to be like trying so hard to get into a relationship and all this stuff. Like, even with the biological clock thing, I think even if you want kids for women, like, even if you want kids really, really badly, I'm not saying stop dating, but like, you need to learn how to like let it go, you know, and be okay if it doesn't happen, because guys sense that you want that, and they will hold it over your head, because most of them are like on some type of power trip and don't even respect women out there. So that's what I have to say.